Welcome, Minecrafters, to Medieval Minecraft, the Quest to Knighthood, Episode 7. And today we're going to do a lot of crafting. We are going to build probably one of the most valuable things that you can build in Minecraft, an iron golem farm. So here we are, on top of our church, in the village that we found in our last episode. And I did a little bit of construction work already. Just making a 2x2 drop in the center of this thing that the iron golems will fall down. And we are up here at about level 80. And the ground down there is at about level 68. So we're high enough up so that the iron golems will not spawn on the ground down there. Now there's a chance that they might spawn on top of that building over there right next to us, so we might have to go put half slabs on that, because nothing will spawn on top of half slabs. The reason that we're up this high is just to make sure that the iron golems don't spawn anywhere but inside the little trap that we're going to build. And this trap is going to be 10 by 10. So notice that we're about 5 blocks over here on the right, okay, from the very center. And then we just are 5 blocks over. We just extended it out 5 blocks over on the other side over there. So now we're just going to make this little platform here that's 10 by 10. And the reason we're making it 10 by 10 is because water flows 8 blocks. So we're going to make it so that when we put water source blocks in the corner of this thing, the water will flow right over and stop right at the hole that we've built in the center. So that's the whole concept of the size of the platform. Now let's talk a little bit more about the other features and functions that we're going to use to make this thing operate. Iron golems will spawn whenever we've got more than 21 doors and about 10 villagers. So, and they will also spawn within an area that is 16 blocks cubical. Okay, so it would be 8 blocks from the center of our village. So we're going to have to make a village out of more than 21 doors that is more than 8 blocks above the ground, or 8 blocks away from any spawnable block. So we're at least 10 above the ground up here right now. Now the other thing that we need to recognize is that in order for the iron golems to spawn, the villagers, in order to make it a real village, we have to have villagers that are within 4 blocks vertically of the center of the village. And the center of the village is going to be the center of all the doors that are in the area. So we're going to have to bring some villagers up here and place them within 4 blocks vertically of the center of our village, center where all of our doors are. Now in this design I'm going to use about 36 doors. To make doors function, to make them actually kind of like, you know, real doors, you have to put a block on the inside of them, so that, and have no blocks on the outside. I'm not going to get into the whole technical details of what makes a real door, but you'll see when we set this up that the doors are going to be quote legitimate doors. Okay, so now we're going to place a rim around our 10 by 10 platform that we've just completed, and this will contain the water and give the iron golems a place to spawn. So we're going to make it so that the iron golems will only spawn on this little 10 by 10 platform that we just built. So here we are, just setting up the little containment for the water around the outside of our platform. Now I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to build another platform or another level. You know, if you can think about it, I could build another level above this, another spawning platform up above this one that will still be within, you know, the 8 blocks of the center of the village, and so we could get a few more iron golems to spawn, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that or not yet. Okay, well, let me just show you how the water works here. I'll just throw down a bucket over here in this corner, and you can see how it flows over. So if you count the blocks over to where it's ending right there, it's 8 blocks, no matter what path you take. Okay, now I think I'm going to run down and maybe grab some more resources, come back up and add a little bit more on the top of this build. Okay, so we're back from collecting a bunch of resources. That's what the platform looks like from down underneath it. Yeah, it's starting to get dark out here because it took me a little while. I actually had to go over to the little jungle over there next to us and harvest up a spruce tree because I wanted to make all the doors match. So that took a little bit of time. So we're going to throw down a little bit of light here to make sure nothing else spawns up here while we're working. But we're certainly high enough up so that we don't have to worry about the evil mobs coming to get us. So we can keep working on our build. So I've decided to make this thing have 2 spawning levels. You know, it's not really necessary to do the 2 spawning levels because you know, most of the way that I plan to use this is to just go AFC, away from console, because we're on the Xbox, right? Down in one of the buildings down there in the village and just let the iron golems spawn. But I'm just going to add another level here because it's kind of fun, and we'll get a little bit slightly higher yield of iron. I mean, there's certainly this design is not conceived to give you the highest yield per minute or per hour or whatever. It's just designed to give us, it's going to give us infinite iron. And like I said before, if we do our AFC sessions within about 100 blocks, I believe. I've tested this before in my other worlds. I was really far away and I was still getting iron golems to spawn in mine. You know, on the Xbox, there's no such thing as a spawn chunk. I thought that there was in the beginning when I first started playing on it, but it's not. What happens is the chunks are just loaded around you. Okay, so we didn't need to go and bring the villagers back to our spawn chunk or anything like that to make sure we keep running when we're in the overworld. We're just building this in a place that I plan to spend a lot of time. I'm not really sure where I'm going to set up my permanent base yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be near here. So this chunk will be loaded and this farm will be running when I'm in my base. You know, in order to become a squire, I've got to go find and tap into a spawner. And I'm hoping that I can find a spawner that is reasonably close to here. You know, one of the bummers about using the spawners is you got to be within 16 blocks of them to make them operate. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully there's one that's pretty close. I was also thinking maybe I could set up my base down in that other village, or, you know, I'm pretty sure this chunk will be loaded when I'm down there. I haven't even been down to that village yet. I can't wait to go down and check that out. So what I'm going to try to do here is put down 8 blocks on a side. And I think I probably just messed up the first 2 over there. But anyway, so I'll skip that block. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we've got 8 doors on a side here. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And we're just going to have to go back and clean up some of the ones I put down in the beginning here. Now you can put, you know, 10 doors on a side. You might get slightly higher yield if you do that. But I just don't think it looks as good, and I'm not sure I'm all that worried about the yield. I kind of like to put a little pillar on the side, and I think eventually I might come back here and light this up. I'll throw some netherrack up. Well, geez, now you can't take out doors with a ladder very well. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I might come back up here and redecorate this out and everything later when I got a few more resources. Like I like to light it up with netherrack and stuff. But for now, I'm just going to put these down here. And then, yeah, we do need to light up this outside area here to keep the evil mobs from spawning out here. So for now, I'm just going to throw down a couple torches. I haven't figured out how I'm going to light it all up. So we'll just chuck these in the corners over here. I think I'm gonna maybe just build up. Now notice how high we are above where the level of the water is going to be. Oh, that looks really cool. This is going to be excellent. Yeah, the villagers are going to like this little penthouse view up here. Move those guys up here. That'll be awesome. Okay, so let's think about how we're going to do this. I'm just going to throw down a few blocks in the corner here, I think, and then I got to put some torches on the outside of it. So maybe I don't want that torch down there. Let's think about this. Yeah. Build that up. So like I said a minute ago, notice how high we are above where the water is going to go. It's, we are, this block right here that I'm pointing to is about 5 blocks above the floor. So the iron golems can easily spawn down there. There's plenty of space for them. Now we're putting these blocks along the back of the doors here to make it so that they are legitimate doors. Okay. Now I think, as I said before, I might just fill all this in to make another platform up here. But let's throw down a torch on the outside to make sure that nothing spawns outside of the doors. Okay, trying to light the area up on the whole outside of the doors. I have had my first iron farm. I didn't light it up that well, and had a few zombies spawn up there before I put some. Actually, like I said before, I put netherrack down in my other world because I looked really cool. I had a lot of resources at the time. So here we'll just chuck some torches down the outside, and that'll make it so the blocks in front of the doors are well lit. Oops, that's too low. Let's take that one out and raise it up a little bit. That's cool. Now you can put, if you're doing this in creative, you can put glowstone out here, or like I said before, lit netherrack or stuff like that. But since this is pure survival and I haven't been in the game very long, I'm just going to use the resources that we've got. Well, speaking of resources, looks like we're running out of some sandstone bricks here, so I'm going to have to go down here pretty soon. Look, I only got about 7 left there. So let me just build across here a little bit. I'm going to cut the video out. I'll come back when I've gathered up a lot more sandstone. Okay, we're back. That shows you what this thing looks like from the outside. We're about halfway through this build, or maybe a little more than halfway. Oh, I hear another little zombie underneath us. Yes, guys, we're almost done here. We're getting this thing cranked up pretty soon. You guys will be able to move up to the penthouse here. So I'm just gonna cruise up here, and I threw down these dirt stairs to kind of come down. And just like a little temporary thing here. I figured this out. Now I think what I'm gonna do now maybe is speed the video up, because all I'm gonna do right now is build another level similar to the one that we have down below. So we'll just clean these out, and I'll be back when we're finished laying down this next level. Okay, we're back. And we just put this 2x2 hole lined right up above the one below it so that the iron golems will spawn, flow in there, and drop straight through. Now we got to figure out a way to make it so that the iron golems and other mobs won't spawn up here on the ledge outside of where the water stream is. And the way we're going to do that is to throw down half slabs. Now what a lot of people do up here is put down glass or another non-spawnable block like glowstone or something like that. But since we're relatively new in the game, we've only been doing this for a short period of time, we've got a lot of sandstone here in this area, so we're just going to put down half slabs of sandstone. And then in the corners like this, I'm going to build up these little pillars and put some torches around on those to light the area up. That's to make it so that we don't get other evil mobs spawning in the center here and flowing into our water stream. Of course, they won't spawn on the outside because we got the half slabs down. So let me figure this out. I think maybe I'll just put torches all the way around this thing, and then throw down some. I got to put a half slab on the top of this thing too, but it'll look kind of cool if we put some around on the outside. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to run out of torches pretty soon, so I'll probably have to go back down and grab a few more of those. But this is kind of the pattern here. So now there's a half slab on top. Nothing will spawn up there. The iron golems will all be inside. So this is the pattern we're going to follow. Here, we're going to do this all the way around. And I think what I'll do now is just speed the video up. And when I get done half slabbing and setting up these towers, I'll be right back. So we're out of torches, and we're going to have to run down and get a few more. And while I'm doing that, I wanted to comment on something that a few of you have brought up here. Two of you asked me why I ran out of the village and went over to that little hidey hole that I had set up when I first found the village while we were making the little mob shelter. And the reason I did that is because oh, I think the natives are getting restless here. I hear some arrows going off. Wait a second, hold on. Oh, we got to take out this guy. Smack. Alright. And you're done too. Thank you very much. So yeah, I went over and did that because when I found a village in one of my previous worlds, and I slept in the village, a few of the evil mobs had spawned. I think it was principally down in a cave underneath, and they were able to come up. So when I woke up, they were right around the area, and they were able to attack the villagers I had, and I lost the village. Now in that case, there was only about 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5 villagers at the most in that little village. So I've been a little cautious when I find another village, and I'd really rather not lose any of the mobs. So that's why I run off and do that. It might be a little bit of overkill. I mean, if you lay the bed down exactly when the sun's going down, then evil mobs probably haven't spawned up on the surface. One or two might get up on the top, coming out of one of those caves. You know, right when you wake up from a sleep like this. You know, the time, it's not, the time doesn't pass while you're in bed. It just jumps right through. But like while I'm standing here doing this, you know, there could be a creeper outside, or there could be a zombie that is, you know, banging on the door over there or whatever. And before I had all the villagers down in the mob shelter, you know, I could have lost 1 or 2. So it was extremely conservative to do that. It might have been a little overkill, but I really want to make sure I keep all these guys. Looks like we had an iron golem take out a zombie. I think I'm going to have to, I'm going to put a half slab on top of that thing right there probably. And certainly some half slabs on the back as well. Nice to kind of light that up. Now the other thing that I did when I took off out of the village those 2 nights is I made sure that I was at least 100 blocks. If you go more than 128 blocks away, then everything, all the evil mobs will despawn. And so then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, while you're walking over there, if it's dark or whatever, they'll despawn. Mobs will spawn, more than 24 blocks away from you and up to 128 blocks away from you, but they can only move when they're within 34 blocks of you. So, if you're about 100 blocks away from an area, chances are anything that does spawn will despawn. So, if they're more than 34 blocks away from you, then they will randomly despawn, and if they're more than 128 blocks away, they will automatically despawn. Okay, so by staying, 100 or 128 blocks away from the area that you're concerned about, you will ensure that no evil mobs will be there. And so then when you get up in the morning and the light's out, you can just come running back and know there's nothing there. So I'm going to throw down an infinite water source over here, and this will make it so that we can get enough water to fill up this area. We need basically 4 buckets, but I only got 2, so I'm going to put one in that corner and then one in this corner, and now we've got an infinite water source. So if we can just take one out of there, it fills right back up again, and take one out of there. So we're all set with all the water that we're going to need. So I'll place one down here, make sure that thing's in the right spot. Okay, that just shows you how it flows. Oh, it looks like I gotta put a block down over here. That's cool. Okay. That's excellent. Okay, now you see this is kind of a little glitch right now. You see how the water's flowing 8 blocks along that side? Yeah, we didn't lose anything down there. Yeah, the water's just flowing down. It'll clean out pretty soon. See, that's a little glitch right there. It should actually flow out and be like a jagged pattern, but it's okay. Now, I think what I'll do now is take these out, maybe pillar up through the center, because I know the water's not going to flow there. Just fill this in, and then work my way back up in the middle, and I'll just cut the blocks out of the middle. See, this water actually should be fanned out more right here, but it's just, like I said before, it's just a little bit of a glitch. So I'm putting these in here temporarily. Maybe I'll throw some ladders down the outside of it or something. And I got to plug this hole in on my left over here too. But so just make it a way to get down after we throw all the water in. And we're going to fill all this in down here anyway. So let's just bring this. This will be like our little temporary scaffolding or ladder to get back up. Oh, looks like I got just enough ladders. Excellent. That'll be good. So I'm trying to decide what we're going to do after we get this thing up and running. And it's going to be either head down to that other village, and I hope they got a library in that village because I really need some books because I want to set up an enchanting room. But it's either that, we're going to go down there, or I'm going to run down into the caves below this thing and look for a spawner and try to light it all up. Speaking of lighting it up, definitely got to get it lit in here so that we don't get evil mobs spawning in here. And putting the torches in the corner should do the trick. Sometimes in the past I put glowstone in the corners like that. So that should light it up enough. Let's fill this in. I'm going to take the ladder out first. We can't place the block. Right? Excellent. Okay. Now, let's throw one more torch over in this corner. And that should be enough. If we have any trouble, we could just come back up here and put some more light down. But I don't think we'll have any problem with that. I keep wanting to take things out, yeah, with my ladders. Okay, put another bucket right here. You see how it comes in and just lines right up with the little hole we made in the center there. Okay, 2 more buckets. That's great. We'll just throw one down here, and then, I think I'm going to just use this water source block right here rather than take another one out. So we got to figure out what we're going to do next after building this iron mine. And see, I'm afraid to go down and spend too much time in the caves, because if I get too close to that other village over there, and I'm down in the cave and it happens to be night and I don't know it, I could have some evil mobs spawning in and taking out that village. So I might have to go down there and either set up a mob shelter or put a wall around it and protect that village. So now we'll just clean this out like this, and so we basically finished off this level. Half slabs all the way around the top, water in here, and we could just climb down and start to work on the next level. Knock off these blocks up here. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm thinking maybe I should go down and capture a spawner. One of the reasons why I really want to find a spawner is because that's kind of where I'm thinking of building a base. Right around a spawner. That's what I've done in the past. Okay, let's throw a little bit more water in here. Oh, I think I got to make another infinite water source. I probably should have filled up my other bucket before I filled in that other source I had. Well, I'll just go over here and grab this one and set up the source and then come right back, and we'll have this level filled up real quick. Perfect. There we go. Just throw these down in the corner. And this level will be finished off. Just need one more over here, and I can just do what I did before. Fill this in. And we're set. So now we're going to have to go down and set up the area that the iron golems are going to fall down into. Now you can use pistons to process them, but in this case, I think I'm going to use lava. Fantastic. 2 levels, all done. Looking good. I'll just clean this out. That's the first time I built one of these things on top of a church like this that was already existing, but I've thought about it for a little while before. Thought, why make a whole new structure when you've already got something just like this? This steeple lends itself to a nice place to drop these guys down into. I think it's excellent. But I'm kind of figuring this out as I go along. So I'll take these out, and I'm going to make this 2x2 hole come down. I'd really like to leave these windows in here. I don't think the iron golems will get hung up as they're dropping down in here on that. But I'm not sure. I am going to have to put blocks in front of this window. Right here. Yeah. And then, the other thing I got to do is I'm going to have to half slab out this area here behind us. I think I'm gonna. No, I can't put a block there because they got to drop down here. I got to take those 2 out. Yeah, I could use another couple of blocks here anyway to make some more half slabs. I'm not sure I'm gonna have enough to cover this area up out here. Let's go out there and take a look. When you're throwing down half slabs, you want to put them. I'm gonna craft up a few here, I think. Yeah. When you're throwing down half slabs, you want to put them on top of regular spawnable blocks. Okay, or you can think of the idea of placing them on the bottom half of a block. Okay. If you put the half slab down, where the top of a normal block would be, then something can spawn on it. So notice this is a regular block, so I'm just putting the half slabs down on the bottom half of where a block would be. Or just placing them, you can think of it as placing them on top of a normal block. So we'll just cover this area up right here. Looks like we're not going to run out. This will be good. It might be nice to light this up a little bit too. Might look good. So we'll finish laying down the half slabs out here so that the iron golems won't spawn. And we'll be all set. There's one of our buddies there, taking care of the villagers. Excellent. So now we're just going to have to throw a couple of blocks in here. Oh, you know what? I think, yeah, I don't have any more. I think what we'll do now is maybe I'll put a wrap on this video. Let's see. Climb out here and take a look at this a nice evening in our village here. This is beautiful. So in this episode we set up 2 full spawning levels for iron golems and 32 doors. In the next episode we're going to put in some lava in the center of this thing so we can process the iron golems. We're also going to bring the villagers up and put them in a little penthouse around the outside of this and establish the village in the center of this thing. And then we're going to be halfway through our quest to become a squire. All we're going to have to do after that is find a spawner and tap it, and then build an enchanting room. This is Paige Kelvin of the Arch, and I'm signing out.